A very happy and blessed Easter to all of you. And I would like to begin this evening by saying a very sincere thank you to Father Rich for inviting me to participate in this way during our liturgies of the Triduum. He's been very gracious in inviting me and allowing me to participate in this way. You have a very kind and good pastor. My sermon was filled with alleluias, but I'm afraid to say the word because you'll ring all those bells, God. It's not really. But before I begin, and I know some of you have heard this before, there was a couple who celebrated, I think, their 45th anniversary. And so they decided to take a cruise, a very long cruise, and part of it brought them to the Holy Land. And so they were on a tour and visiting the different shrines and places of interest and holiness to the people of Israel and to those who were visiting. And sadly, on the third day, the husband of this couple passed away. Suddenly, he had a heart attack and died. And so, however funerals work there, the person in charge came and visited with this gentleman's wife, and he said, "We can do two things for you." He said, "We can take care of him and bury him here right away, and that will cost you $250 for the whole works." And he said, "Or we can have him prepared and shipped back to the United States for you, and you can bury him at home." And so she thought about that for a little bit, and she said, I'll take him home with me. And he said, "Wow, you really must love your husband very, very much." And she said, "Well, I did, but I also knew that a while ago another gentleman was buried here, and 3 days later he rose from the dead. And I just can't take my chances." It's a bit humorous, but it really speaks to us as to why we're here today. We are taking our chances here today because we are going to chance that we will rise as well. Not in the same bodily form as Jesus, but we will rise to life in him. As the story goes, the women of Jesus' company, whose compassion far outweighs any sort of fear or any kind of practicality, get out early the day after the Passover Sabbath, and they go to finish the job that they started, which was to embalm and prepare Jesus' body for burial. They came carrying burial spices, about 75 to 100 pounds of burial spices. And they get to the place where Jesus was, and they find that the stone had been rolled back. And to tell you the truth, I don't know about you, but to me that seems like it was the worst planning that could be. Whoever was going to roll the stone back for them? And so it wasn't well thought out. But anyway, they get there and they see an angel, and perhaps two angels, or maybe a whole company of angels. We don't really know. But they're asked the question, why are you looking for one who is alive among those who are dead? And to me, it's a strange and a somewhat not so warm and fuzzy thing to say to these women. It was almost a put down. They were so well intentioned. They so wanted to do what was right and what was good for one that they loved so much. But it was kind of a put down for them. But it is, after all, the central question of the day. Why do you look for the living among the dead? He's not here. He is raised. And the angel points and says, "Look, there is the place that they laid him." Now, I don't know if you've thought about it or not, but the very large stone had been rolled back, not so much that Jesus could escape or get out of there, but so that those who were gathered around could look in, so that you and I would have the chance to look in and to see an empty tomb, to understand that it's not over. It's only just begun. The best part of the story is just in front of you. You see, the empty tomb is not an answer to any of the questions that we might have about an empty tomb, and also all of life. But really, it is a response instead of an answer to a question. It's a response to life. It is in opening to a new beginning. It's an opening to a fresh start, an unimagined possibility, a so far yet to come. Whatever the circumstances of your life, whatever they are today, whatever has been done or left undone for you, whatever has or has not happened to or for you, the empty tomb prevents the present from closing in on us. It prevents it from closing in on any possibility of the future. It prevents it from closing us up. In difference, it promises the possibility of something new and the chance of something different. It's the invitation to transform your life, to be different, to live differently. Easter, I think, dares us to look around the rocks that we stumble over and find the path, that straight path that leads to peace and to healing. Jesus has been raised from the dead. He's not bound by the burial cloths of hopelessness. He's no longer entombed by fear or distrust. His cross is not the dead wood of shame and ridicule. Instead, it's the first spring branches of compassion and justice. Justice for everyone, of every time, of every place. Jesus is no longer in the tomb that once held him. But are we?